We can also key off the overall luminance of the image. And so to hand roll a luminance keyer, one of the easiest ways to do that is to use the saturation node to remove the saturation of the image before creating the key. The saturation node has several different modes of how it does its luminance math. By default, it uses Rec. 709, which is a fairly standard type of color transfer for figuring out luminance, but you can also choose the average of the channels or the maximum. So in this particular case, I've got the stapler, and if we look at the three channels, we've got red, green, and blue. You can see the red channel, there's red, actually has a little bit more information in it because it's got this little follower in here. Now actually in this case we need to key off of white, so really we want the darkest image. So we would want to find something like maybe the average. Let's try using the luminance. This might actually, so I'm looking at the overall and reducing the saturation by the average or Rec. 709. In this case seems to be about the same. We're pretty much going for something that gives us the darkest core on the stapler and then the lightest in the background. And we would do the same process. We would just use a color lookup node and then adjust this until we had something that looked like a matte. Now you'll notice that right now it's backwards, but there's no reason with this curve tool that we're restricted to going one way. We could actually use the lookup to invert the meaning of the lookup at the same time. So now I'm saying take this value and invert it by reversing the curve. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone here. It's worth showing this just for that alone, because it's a pretty cool thing you can do with curves that a lot of people don't realize. Oh, hey, it looks we're able to get most of the inside. I'm going to frame this, and then I'm going to do the same trick where I soft clip to try to create a slightly less nasty edge on my edges. There we go. So that's the gist of doing it. Rather than taking this the whole way, we'll just do a really quick GMAT here to cut off the stuff, and then we'll put what we've got here over a background, hitting the O key, and then I'm going to freehand a GMAT for this. Use the same trick where I invert the matte. Shuffle the alpha channel from, it doesn't matter in this case what channel I pick, I'll just pick the first one and shuffle it in, and then make my roto shape black again. There we go. So we'd still have to touch up the inside and stuff, but you've already seen that in the previous video. I just wanted to show you an example of doing it on the luminance rather than in a channel. So we've created a key based on the luminance, and now we'll just do a really quick matte merge to get that over the background. Copy the alpha channel from here into our foreground. There we go. Stapler. Luminance keys aren't really the highest quality keys typically, which is why we're going to look at the whole family of color keyers, which can produce much better results. However, luminance keys are very handy in some cases for picking up little details and things, and we'll see that in next week's lesson when we really take compositing using matte extraction to the next level. So for this week, our goal is to simply experiment with creating mattes from scratch, and we're going to create a composite. But next week, we're really going to take this stuff to the limit, and we're going to use every type of matte extraction technique available in our arsenal to complete the composite we need to complete. While we're here, I want to show you the built-in node for doing this, which is called the keyer. We've already experimented with it a bit, but it's definitely worth noting that it has many different modes built right in. Luminance, red channel keyer, green channel keyer, blue channel keyer, which is what we just built. We built a blue channel keyer in the previous example. And then red screen, green screen, and blue screen. These are actual basic color difference keys using a red screen, green screen, or blue screen, and we're going to build one of those based on green in the next example. This can also do something similar to what we just wired up manually in the luminance key mode using max keyer and min keyer. This basically means do a luminance key based on the minimum or maximum channels. So if you want to see the result, it always puts the result of the key straight into the alpha channel. So if you're not sure which might be the best for your purposes, you can always view the alpha channel in the keyer and then go through the different modes to see which one is going to do the best job for you. That's the brute force way. I would suggest toggling through the channels of the image first to see which channel might be the best, and then making an educated guess based on that. But when it comes to something like minimum and maximum, sometimes that's a little hard to visualize. So viewing it here and picking minimum and maximum rather than trying to imagine it in your mind's eye, you can just see what it's giving you.